Welcome to this timeless Lightworker Toolkit session where we're going to be sitting together to get some insights, to get some love and some support from our spiritual guidance team. I'm just getting a little tuned in here. Just kind of locking into these crystalline grids. Of those of you that are here, who's feeling this full moon? I also want everyone watching this now and in the replay to just do a little scan, a little body scan. Check in on yourself. This one's in Gemini. So my guides are showing me astrology. They're showing me if this full moon is highlighting for you. I see. What my guides are showing me right now about this full moon is that it will highlight for us anywhere in life that we have a communication breakdown. Gemini is, of all the astrological systems that we look at, Gemini is about communication. If we're going to strip it down and get it down to its core, it's communication. So communication, I'm hearing communication within, paramount. They're wanting me to say this again. My guides are really with me. So this is probably going to be like a full-blown session, if that's something you want for yourself. This is only to serve in the highest and best good of all, to provide us with some nurturing, some support, so that we can feel really held and we can feel very safe to reinitiate the way we communicate. So I'm seeing reinitiate the way we communicate with everything. And this is an important highlight here. Healing. Let's talk about healing for a second. I know this is for light workers, but we're all healing ourselves through this process of light working. So okay. Remember that everything is a relationship. So you as the soul, okay, tune in really subtly with me here. You as the soul, you have a relationship with everything, okay, that you're experiencing here in this reality. So your soul is going to have a relationship with your body. Your soul is going to have a relationship with your mind. Your soul is going to have a relationship with the goings-on of your life, okay? You're going to have all of these connections and relationships that are occurring as we're here being humans. So what I'm sensing about this full moon is anything that you and your soul, so take it from your focal point of your soul, anywhere your soul has begun to create a crisscross pattern or a tangled pattern or a distorted pattern with anything in your life, this Gemini full moon, it's going to highlight it. It's going to show you, hey, there's tangles here. Your soul and your mind, at some point, they started to get a little fictitious with one another. Your soul and let's say so-and-so in your life started to create a fictitious relationship. Or your soul and, I'm hearing your soul and the way that you conceptualize of work. That's a relationship. Your soul and the way you conceptualize of romance. It's a relationship. Your soul and the way that you conceptualize of food. Okay, some of you are actually really doing this. You're healing. I'm definitely doing this personally. A lot of us are healing our relationships with the aspects of this human existence, of this reality, and of this conscious experience that we're having. So if today is a day, or for those of you that are watching this in the future, let me get a little timeless with it. If any full moon is ever seeming to highlight for you an area of your life that's looking to heal or shift, then let this transmission be a little piece of candy in the bowl for you to pick out, to realize that there is value even in the things that we're viewing as fictitious or challenging or hard or in need of remedy or in need of harmonization. The full moon it's gonna be the full illumination of whatever that is that you're working through. So let's just say I'm seeing some of you in the future that are watching this months down the line. This is so interesting. Okay. What they're showing me is that it'd be really beneficial for all of us to they're saying fall in love with the full moon. This is funny. What they're showing me is that humanity has built this perception of the full moon, that like the full moon is the day when things are like not good, or it's the most conducive for things that are problematic to occur, and they're saying that is not a correct relationship with the full moon. And they're also showing me, this is my Akashic Records guides. They're showing that some of you have this perception that the moon in general is like not good. Okay. That's not true. Yes, there's been meddling with the moon at times in our history. And yes, it is somewhat of a satellite. So yeah, but it is here and it's part of our system, and it's whatever we do with it. So again, this is the relationship we're creating. So some of you have probably read a lot of things or heard a lot of things about what the full moon is like going to do to you or for you or whatever. Only English in the comments, please. But they want us to reshape this relationship so that we can understand that all of these elements and all of these celestial bodies are a part of us. We're a unit. We're functioning as a unit. And they're showing me too, when you look at the body, and we can go into the micro. We can take your cells, we can put them on a microscope, and we can look and we can see there is so much going on within your body right now. There are 30 trillion cells moving about their business, doing lots of things. Within each of those 30 trillion cells, lots of stuff's going on. And remember, we want those 30 trillion cells to be in alignment with our higher self, aka our soul. So when you feel that kind of like stirring energy that's in the body, those are cells going through a process. And a lot of the times when the process that they're going through, when we sense them, feel them, viscerally feel them, is that they're coming back into alignment with your higher self. So they're saying those of you that are still in the thick of the ascension symptoms, okay. A lot of Syrians today. There's a lot of Syrian guides in the mix today. Trying to piece together what they're showing me, because they're showing me a lot of cells. They're saying, how can you, when your body is going through that, when your body is going through a shift, maybe you have symptoms, Maybe your body's responding to the galactic frequencies coming into our system from outside of our system, as well also outside of our range of dimensions. Some of you are hearing me. Some of you have taken in my YouTube transmissions. How can we form a loving bond, a loving kinship, a loving relationship with even those ascension symptoms? So, okay, my body is doing some things, okay? I'm feeling a lot. There's sensation. I'm feeling that there's things going on within the cells in different parts of my body, maybe parts of my thought system, my mind. How can we see and sense into that movement in a loving way? So how can you reframe the relationship that you have with when your body is telling you, hi, I'm raising in vibration. Hi, I'm raising in frequency. Hey, I'm shifting. Hey, I'm evolving. Some of you know that your cells replace themselves entirely every 7 years of your life. Yeah, all those 30 trillion cells, they only make it to 7. Okay? Because they're always turning over, and you as the soul need to be the leader of this. So some of you are experiencing your ascension symptoms and you're like mad at that part of your body. Okay? And you're like, ugh, knee, foot, elbow, whatever this is for you, you're kind of getting irritated with parts of your body. And how can you fall in love with the fact that those parts of your body are shifting? They're evolving. They're coming along the journey with you. Your soul is an ascension process, and your body's coming along for the ride. Okay, 7. And 7 in the tarot. Okay. So we're going to pull a few cards. We're just going to have a really gentle session today. There's enough activation in the system. I don't need to add to that equation. Today I'm going to be helping us ground. Today I'm going to help us to feel some stabilization with these energies. I'm just going to grab my stand really quick. As well as, hip hop. Anyone hear the hip hop? Also some sound healing tools. I also just want to share, I really love this group. I really love all of you. I know you're all here. I know some of you come in and you don't comment that much because you're trying to be respectful and kind, and that's sweet of you. But you can, this is a session you can get involved if you want. All right? As long as it's on topic, as long as it's not kooky dooky and getting us into some weird little realm of strangeness. Okay? That doesn't help us, by the way. That kind of stuff, I'll be like, nah, homie. Nah, homie. All right? But yes. So we're all galactic beings, we're starseeds, but we're also humans. And so, my role comes in with a lot of you in assisting you to integrate as a human being. This is what my guides are showing me. They're showing me that I attract a lot of multifaceted starseeds. So the starseeds, even though Palladian is the strongest in my being, okay, I'm sure a lot of you feel that. Arcturian's probably next up. And then there's a long series of star systems that I've had experience in, and probably a lot of you too. So what they're showing me about the people I attract is that you have connection with many star systems. So yes, you might feel a certain kinship with one of the star systems. In this session today, it's the Pleiades, Arcturus, Sirius A, B, and C. Okay, here's another thing that we got to go into, and I'm going to put this up because it's essential to this equation. Okay, so for those of you that have experience on Sirius C, and hopefully we're going to drop off the people that don't understand this stuff in the session, but Sirius C no longer, okay? This star went through its supernova, and so when it comes to connecting with Sirius, you might have like a bit of a mixed bag. I'm seeing tri-flame. I don't know what that means. but you might sense a part of you that kind of hurts when it comes to Sirius. And that's probably why, because you probably were on Sirius C when some things went down. Some of you, it's more B, so it's Sirius B. It's a pretty mixed bag. It's a pretty mixed bag. I'm going to do a little fine tuning because we're getting really celestial today. Anyone that is potentially having ascension symptoms, does anybody want to tell me where you're feeling it in the body today? Where are you all feeling this today? Is it in the throat for most of you? Headache? Okay. So third eye. Got some solar plexus stuff, the head. Okay. All over. Okay. Lower back. The fascia is big, Julian. The fascia is big right now. The fascia is my guides are channeling to me about the fascia. I'm going to try to explain this. I don't know why they're having me explain this, but here we go. They're showing me an egg. So go with me. There's an egg. They're showing me that the fascia kind of acts like the eggshell for us in our body. So the egg, picture an egg. They're showing me the fascia acts as the eggshell of the body. Interesting. I'm also not a doctor. I'm not a psychotherapist. So I'd like to lay that down here very clearly. I'm simply I'm a human being that has tapped into her own multidimensional channeling gifts. So I'm receiving from a lot of different aspects of the cosmos as I bring this through. But what they're showing me about the fascia in particular is that as we're being upgraded, the fascia gets stronger, is what they're saying. They're saying the fascia gets stronger. And they're showing me fascia massage. Okay. They're kind of showing me like these like tools that you like rub on your body and they massage your fascia. It doesn't get harder, it gets stronger. So they're showing me the molecular structure right now. They're kind of getting pretty nitty-gritty with this channeling. They're showing me the molecular structure of that fascia becomes much more... it's almost as if the molecules in the fascia start hugging one another. I don't know how to explain this because it's a very high frequency that's coming in. But what they're showing me about the fascia is that those of you that are struggling with the body would be benefited by some fascia massage. I'm not the expert in this. I'm just channeling this. So, but they're bringing it up and they're saying it's pretty important. They're saying everything is rebirthing. So some of you are familiar with like when you're dealing with a lot in your body, it's typically because Earth herself is going through rebirth processes and you're kind of feeling it too. And they're showing everything is rebirthing. So all the cells are rebirthing. All the aspects are rebirthing. Everything is rebirthing. It's not just like humans, this star system, this part of you, okay, kind of thing. It's like, no, it's everything, okay? We get really, they're showing me, this is so funny. They're saying sometimes humans act like the spoiled stepchild. I don't know what the heck that means. But we think it's only us, and that's when we get lost. So we think it's like we get really too focused on ourselves. And we kind of start to create this system in our mind that humanity is all there is. And they're showing me that the way that we're ascending and what we're moving into as a humanity, as a collective humanity, we're going to have to let go of that. Okay? Because we're inviting in our other brothers and sisters, our aunts and uncles, our grandparents, all of our star family is becoming one again. So if we do this thing where we think we're the only, then we're not going to be able to benefit from any of this consciousness expansion that's going on for us. And how are you being called to step up and lead? So today I was called to step up and lead. And I've been showing up here, I think, this week every day, maybe. I don't know, what is time? But a lot of you in the year of 2026, they're prepping you all for 2026. I see. Let me see what this tarot card is that they wanted me to pull. So I can stay human, you know what I'm saying? It was in reverse, and this is an interesting card. It's a 7 of Cups. Again, I'm not a tarot girly. I'm just very new in the tarot. It came in reverse. Seeing like a lot on this card. So I'm actually going to put this down here so you guys can still kind of see it, but not fully because we want the priestess to be in the spotlight today. Okay. Let me read it. Let me get some context. Let me get some context to the 7 of Cups situation. And some of you are tarot people and you know this well, but I'm a learner. I don't know this very well. So I'm going to learn. Fairy favors images of reflection, imagination, sentiment, things seen in the glass of contemplation, some attainment in these degrees, but nothing permanent or substantial is suggested. But we got it in reverse, which adds a little spice to the mix of the dish. What? Anywho, desire, will, determination, project. So for 2026, I see now. So for 2026, some of you are going to be invited to some very soulful projects. And I'm just going to riff off this card to help us. You might find 7 completely, totally different areas of interest for your soul. And you're like, what? These don't have anything in common. Well, yes, they do. You. Okay, so the message that I'm getting right now from the 7th Dimensional Plane Akashic Records guides is you're allowed to have interest in all these different areas. You don't have to. They're showing me some of you are going to start your own businesses. And they're showing me some of you already have your own businesses. They're showing me some of you are working jobs where you're going to take your job and you're going to turn it into something very different than it was. Because you're bringing all of this multidimensionality. I mean, you guys heard me earlier. The reason that we're all kind of linked up is because all of us have, we came in with a lot of multidimensionality, multidimensional memory. So because of that, we're not going to be able to put all of our interest in one cup. We're probably going to have lots of different buckets. And that's okay. So if next year you start to sense your spiritual guidance kind of giving you little, and listen, your guidance isn't going to be like, this is what your whole life is going to be like. Let me give you a map and show you everything. Because as a soul, you don't want that. As a soul, you came here to be present. So your guidance isn't going to drop in and give you your 10-year plan and your 15-year plan. No, they're going to give you breadcrumbs. And as you're collecting up those breadcrumbs, you are going to have to trust that as they're showing me some of you will hold the breadcrumb and you're holding the breadcrumb. You haven't even handled the breadcrumb. And you're already like looking to the next breadcrumb. You're like, what's going to be next? Well, you've got a breadcrumb in your hands. Let's deal with the breadcrumb that's in your hands before we start to project or predict or move forth or move beyond what's in that breadcrumb. So your guides might, and some of you would be benefited to hear this, which is something that my guides have told me, and I'm trying not to dip into resentment as I access it. But some of you are working jobs and you know you want to do something different. And technically, you can start that different thing while you're still in your job so that you have financial security. Okay? So some of you are being called outside your current role or your current whatever that's bringing in you your financial security, feeding you, putting a roof over your head. Some of you are going to be called to something beyond, but you don't necessarily have to quit your job right away. Some of you just need to do this. Oh man, I wish that these guides were telling me that, no resentment. It disconnects me from happiness. That's right. But what they're showing me is this. Who's here right now? And I won't share your name, so don't worry. Your bosses won't find out. But how many of you just are in a job and you hate it? I would like to know. I'd like to see who we're working with here. And I'm sure I'm sensing a lot of you in the future, so okay. Okay. I'm getting a lot of information. Some of you are in these jobs, all right? Just listen to me like I'm a friend. Okay? Listen to me like I'm a friend. Some of you are in these jobs that you see as terrible, and you see it as torture, and you see it as something that's like so bad, and you're complaining about all your coworkers, and you're complaining about your bosses, and you're complaining about the toxic environment, and you're complaining about all these things at your job. Go with me here for a second. From now forward, you're going to show up to these jobs and you're going to have this sentiment, this remembrance. I'm only going to give what I can give today. Some of you are a lot like me. You're hard workers. You give it everything you put yourself into. You give it your all. And that is a very redeeming quality. I'm not asking you to change that quality. But I am saying some of you are letting these jobs suck you dry, and you don't technically have to. And you don't need to quit them either. Because some of you, the reason that you aren't liking the job is because there's something within your soul that's reactivating and lighting back up. It's a passion. It's a highest excitement. It's the dream that if the world were ideal, this is what you'd be doing, and you might even know what that thing is while you're still working whatever job you're working. Carve out a period of time for yourself every single day to go into those passion projects. Begin to build it while you're still at your jobs. Okay? This is going to do a lot of things for you. For one, it's going to start fulfilling your passion. For two, it's going to start waking up your soul mission. For three, it's going to give you a nugget. Some of us need kind of that carrot. We need that carrot. So if it's going to get you through to keep, taking in the financial resources that are required, well, you've got that carrot of whatever it is you're moving into. That's safe. They're saying that's safe. You can start to build that, and you can even start to maybe save. Maybe you draw up a financial plan for yourself, and you know that this is how much you need to save to exit the whatever it is. Well, then do that and start building towards it. And whenever you have that voice in your head that's like, I hate this job, I just can't wait to get out of this job, use that as a soil. Say, wait a second, well, that's super annoying, and it's like keeps looping, but it's something, it's energy. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to alchemize it. I'm going to transmute it. Maybe some of you are, they're being really practical now. Maybe you stay in your job, some of you, as you're building your passion project, and you just start a brand new exercise routine. And through that exercise routine, you're able to release all this excess energy And you're able to continue to go to that job or whatever this is. And don't feel so shitty about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you won't feel so bad about it because you'll have these little practices in your life, whether it's the passion projects, the exercise, the dance, the with friends, the whatever it is. But use these cushions while you're plotting a course for yourself that is more in alignment with your higher self. And then I'm going to do 2 more cards before I close this out, because this turned into a very full-blown channeled healing session for a lot of you. And it seems like a lot of you, 2026 is going to be such a wonderful year. I'm seeing, my guides are just showing me all of you, and like 2024, 2025 were really a lot of shift, a lot of conscious evolution, maybe a lot of ascension symptoms. But 2026 is going to be different. And the reason 2026 is going to be different is because you're moving through your life with radical acceptance. 2026 isn't going to be different because so-and-so finally starts being nice, or your job finally starts getting okay, or this person over here finally starts whatever. No, it's going to be when you're just like, okay, this is my life. I accept it. That's got to be step 1. Because as long as we're in resistance to our life will be in resistance to us. So, I don't even know what that means, but whatever that means. Okay, 7, 8. And these are going to be our final 2 cards. It's just a quick one today. I'm going to do a little aura clearing before I bring out these 2 card messages. Because a lot of you you moved in your consciousness. A lot of you were I just saw in my consciousness, a lot of you let go of grudges. A lot of you let go of resentment. A lot of you let go of the thought processing that goes through your head every day that kind of makes life just not feel that great. So I've shared this before, but my guides are sharing this again. That remember, there's not toxic people or toxic jobs or toxic even corporate environments, but there can be toxic connections. So it's not so much you eliminate the jobs, the people, the whatever, but it's you got to rewire. You got to heal that relationship you have with those outer beings, outer things, outer whatever. Because that's how you're going to create a new thinking environment for yourself. Man, these Syrians, they just like, whoa. So the Pleiadians are like super lovey, and they'll come in and they'll be gentle and, wonderful. Arcturians are just like brilliant. They're just so smart. They're just so smart. They're like architects, and they're just like... I've also recently discovered something that I'm trying to understand, and I don't really know how, but they're star beings that are kind of us in the future. So they're more ascended, we can say. They've moved out of some of the lower densities, lower frequencies that we may still find ourselves in. So they're very helpful. They're very, very helpful. And the Syrians, Pleiadians, and Arcturians are kind of coming into my consciousness, and they're kind of showing me tri-flame again. I don't, again, know what that means. But they're showing me when you bring in these 3 star systems to a project, to a life change, to a relationship healing, to a self-healing. It's kind of like the trifecta. Because it's like they're showing me the Syrians will get the job done. The Arcturians will make that possible. The Pleiadians will make that comfortable. So again, this feels like a transmission that's for those of you that are multidimensional star seeds, and you're really benefited to understand how these star connections that you have can benefit you. Inner temple. So Every single person that ever comes here, this is what we're focused on. Having that safe, remember that peace that you're craving, always available within. That stillness you're craving, always available within. That harmony you're craving, always available within. Anything that's getting convoluted and messy and all of that out there, we need to stop, pause, freeze time, and drop within. Because the longer we let little fragments of our soul or our consciousness drift off into things that serenity prayer, some of you serenity prayer, that you can't control, but you believe for temporarily that I can control the way this person's behaving. I can control the way my boss is behaving. I can control the way my pet is behaving, my child is behaving. No, you cannot. So let it go. Every soul on this planet is steering themselves. Some are very in alignment with Source. Some are taking detours. But what we can all do that will take us back to what is our strength and what can be actually acted upon and useful is our inner being. Find that safety within. Each day, create a safe environment within yourself and your inner being, your inner temple, that you can visit no matter what. And that inner being, that safe haven, that safe space can be accessed anywhere. It goes with you, you see. So it's not a mind-created attachment, a mind-created story. It's something that's always eternally available to you within yourself. Devotion, tune into the portal of your heart. And yes, that is the mechanism, through the heart. So now the next time you find yourself getting heady or in the head or in a loop, remember, this is not where my power lies. Call it all back into the heart, where the power lies. And then the final card of the day is the Age of Light. Take a look at this imagery and let it activate you. Let it activate you. You've been training for this for lifetimes. This is summing up the whole message. We're going to read it because it feels like that's a good way to close. By the way, this is the Rebecca Campbell Work Your Light deck. Artwork is Danielle Noel. We're going to read this to close the session today. And it's 86. May or may not be the year I was born. In this life. Okay. Mystics and sages throughout the ages have predicted this period in history, and you decided to incarnate in the middle of it. Woo! Yay you. Yay us. There is no mistake that you are supposed to be here at this time of great change. You're here for a reason. If you ever feel unprepared or daunted by the path that is calling you, know this. You've been training for this for lifetimes. You're way more than the days that have breathed through you in this life. You're also all of the lifetimes that came before. All of these experiences have polished your soul into the most magnificent expression that is your authentic self. So this is kind of the reminder that each time we're living a life, we're becoming more of who we really are. Your soul has many facets. Imagine a fingerprint. Your soul is 1,000,000 times more intricate than that. If you put together all the fingerprints of all the people you have been, you would not even get close to fathoming how much of a unique masterpiece you are. You came in with a clear soul plan. You came in with wisdom beyond your years. I'm seeing a lot of you have been called that, wise beyond your years. A lot of you have been called that. This is the part of you that longs to be seen. This is the part of you that is ready to step forward. That is ready to emerge. This is not the lifetime to stay hidden, but to step forth, be seen, and rise. So for those of you that are still kind of living within this protective bubble of don't be seen, don't be heard, don't be witnessed, don't be observed, you're protecting against the people in your life that have hurt you, you're protecting against the experiences that have hurt you, you are protecting against your own thoughts that have hurt you. Let this be the message that helps you set yourself free from that. Even if you step up and you rise and you lead and you shine and people judge you, you will be all right. You're strong enough for that. You can trust yourself to get through whatever people show up and choose to judge you or be cruel to you. You can handle it. This is small fragments of a lot of you, very small, so it's hidden. It's the part of yourself that your ego may have gotten really good about hiding from you. Elias, my laugh just kind of naturally happens. And you made me lose my train of thought. My channel. Let me see where it was. I see. They're showing me amateur energy. They're showing me amateur energy. They're saying some things that you want to go to in life as passion areas, you feel like an amateur. Super resonates. You're not an amateur. Those areas that are really passionate for you and that light you up, you probably have a lot of soul skill in that area. Okay, so hold the card on your heart. We're going to do this together. I'm going to do it for us. So those of you that would want me to speak this for you, and it feels like as I'm saying this statement, we're going to let go a lot of this victim stuff. Some of us are still operating with a lot of the victim stuff, you know. That only holds us back. I call forth the soul gifts and soul training that I have received throughout all of my lifetimes. I am ready to embody them all now without hesitation and without fear. I have been training for this for lifetimes. So this full moon is a great opportunity for all of us to heal any type of relationship we have with anything. With people, with ourselves, with places, with jobs, with experiences. Let this light shine into all the areas that will allow you more access to you. I'm also seeing the wound is where the light enters you. I forgot who was the bringer forth of that statement, but it is true. We're not going to be able to. We don't heal by running from our wounds. We heal by accepting our wounds. We sit with our wounds. And we allow for the soulful evolution that is coming from those wounds to be birthed. I'm again seeing, yesterday we talked about volcanoes and new life growing from the lava that has, the magma that has dried afterwards. Similar energy here. We're going to use those pains of the past to understand ourselves more. And that's it for today. We're closing it out. I hope everybody had a wonderful time. This will be in the Lightworker Toolkit, which is $33 a month, and you can get in there right away. If you have any questions about how to get into any of my memberships, please just send me a DM and I can send you a link to anything that I offer. I also want to share that next year, you're getting the first little prelude of this. Next year, I'll be offering monthly workshops. I have the series of things I'm going to be going through. January is going to be focused on integrating high frequency light codes. And then I have the whole list for the rest of the year. But we're going to do one live Zoom workshop each month with Soul Healing with Bree. And I'll have more details on that to come. If that's something you're interested in and you see me roll these out, I strongly suggest you get signed up right away because I'm only going to be taking a limited amount to each. And everybody, let's take a deep breath together. And hold. And release.